In this video, we'll be discussing a simple 3-step method you can use to pass your first CPA exam in the next 60 days. This is the method that worked for me, and since I started coaching CPA exam students, these same steps have worked for getting them through their first CPA exams. And if you actually do the things in this video, this might be the single most impactful video you've watched this year. Anyway, we'll be discussing the 3-step method, which is qualify, strategize, and execute. Let's dive in. The first thing you need to do is make sure you're actually qualified to take CPA exams. This is more of a logistical step, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but you need to check your state requirements and see if you meet them. And for most states, it's either 90 or 120 credits to sit for the exam. And make sure you're checking the requirements to sit for the exam, not the requirements to become a CPA, because they will be slightly different. ChatGPT is a great resource for figuring this out because you can tell it, hey, this is my exact situation. I'm in this state. I have these credits. Can I sit for the CPA exam? And it will tell you. Once you see that you do meet with the requirements, send in your application so you can get your NTS, which is your notice to sit, and you'll use that to actually schedule your exam. So make sure you qualify, then send in your application. If you do this on day one, you should get it back soon enough that you can schedule your exam within 60 days. The next logistical step is getting a CPA review course, and there are so many different options, so you might stress and overthink which one you should get. Don't do that, just pick one. Becker is, the gold standard. It's the top one, but it's also the most expensive one. So if you want a cheaper option, look at places like Universal or Surgeon or even Ninja. But students pass with any one of these all the time, so don't overthink it too much. It's not going to be a make or break decision. Just pick one and go for it. So once you've applied for your NTS and you have a review course, it's time to think about how you're actually going to prepare for the exam in the next 59 days. Okay, step 2 of this method is strategize. I think one of the most common traps that students fall into is they just start getting into the material without, making a plan. This ends up with a lot of students either getting lost or frustrated, and they end up either giving up or just really not putting in the amount of effort they actually need to put in. It's so much easier to follow through when you can see the path ahead of you. If you don't really know how you're going to get to your goal, it's so much easier to give up whenever you face a little bit of adversity along the way. So how do you make a plan? I think the best way to make a plan is by being honest with yourself and asking yourself, how many hours a day can I actually study? And like I said, be honest, because there's no point in lying to yourself and saying, oh, I'm going to study 5 hours a day, when in a week you're going to be so sick of that, hate your life, and not be able to do 5 hours a day because you just made this plan and now it's just completely broken because you put something completely unrealistic into the plan. The AICPA recommends 80 to 100 hours of studying for each section of the exam, which in my personal opinion is a little bit light. I think students usually need a bit more. For this example, let's just say a student says, I need 140 hours to study over the next 59 days. So that's about 2.5 hours of studying per day. And remember, this is 2.5 hours of actually studying, not 2.5 hours of sitting with your textbook, studying a little bit, going on your phone. No, 2.5 hours of actually studying. But now that you have your study hours per day, you can use that to actually plan out what you're going to do in your review course every single day for the next 59 days until the exam day. And I would try to leave about 10 days before your actual exam where you can just go back and review whatever you need to review from the review course before you actually sit for the exam. And one way to make this plan is by looking at your review course, seeing what content they have, and planning out exactly which content you need to do each day to, do your 2.5 hours of studying every day, but be done within about 50 days. Lots of review courses will tell you how long each piece of content should take you. So the lectures should take you 30 minutes. These multiple choice should take you 40 minutes. So that's pretty helpful, but it is a somewhat tedious process to have to go through your review course and look and plan out every single day, this is what I need to do. But it's just the best strategy to make this plan. But if you don't want to actually sit down and do that, check the link down below, because I have started coaching and mentoring CPA students on how to get through these exams. And that's one of the things that I do if we work together, is I'll actually sit down, go through the review course for you, and plan out what you need to do each and every day to get to where you want to be by your desired timeline. But regardless, whether I do it for you or you do it yourself, you should definitely make sure you have this plan that says exactly what you need to do every single day to reach your goal. Because so much of the issues with the CPA exam, I feel like, come when people don't have a plan or they're not sure what to do. But if you, at the start of your studies, set out, okay, this is exactly what I need to do every single day, then there should be no issues, because every day you know exactly what you need to do. There's no excuses of like, oh, like I'm not sure what to study, I'm not sure how to study. No, you have a plan. You have a to-do list every single day. Like, I need to do these 4 things, these 5 things in order to stay on track to hit my goal of passing my next exam within the next 60 days. So, like I said, plan out which content you're going to learn every single day for the next 50 days and do that. But also leave a little time every day to go back and review old material, because you can't just learn new material the entire time. You're going to forget what you learned on day 1 by day 30. So you need to go back and spend time every single day reviewing old material, making sure you keep it fresh in your mind. And if you end up having to do more than 2.5 hours a day, that's okay. Just adjust accordingly. Either add more days or add more hours every day. So just to summarize the Strategize section, what you need to do is make a realistic plan of how many hours you can study every day, and then use that to create a study plan by going through the review course and seeing which content you need to do every day and write it out. Make a plan so you know exactly what you need to do for the next 60 days, so there's no confusion. So now you have a plan in place, but it means nothing without execution. To actually execute on your plan, you're gonna need a few things, but the main one is a fighting spirit. You need to have the determination to execute consistently, because remember, motivation is great, but discipline is better. Because motivation comes and goes, but discipline is there no matter what. Discipline is showing up even on the days you don't want to. So don't rely on motivation, rely on discipline. And that's why having your study plan laid out is so crucial, because once you have that, you know exactly what you need to do each day, and there's no excuses. You have it right there, just get it done. Your review course should have all the content you need to actually learn and prepare for the exams, so just get that done. But a few things to keep in mind are: use elaboration. This is a study method that probably won't be in your review course, but it's so effective. And if you don't know, it's basically just taking key topics and explaining them in your own words. Try to do this without looking at notes. This is a great study method because it really challenges your brain to try and think about, what does this term actually mean? And if you don't know it, it's going to be glaringly obvious because you're going to have nothing to write about. So it also shows you your knowledge gap. So elaboration is a great study method. And secondly, use reflection often. So when I was taking these exams, I always had a million thoughts running through my head. And like I said before, I struggled with organization and being anxious all the time. And reflection was a really great way for me to handle these things, because I would just reflect at the end of every day. Like I said, a million thoughts running through my head, I would just write them down, get them out of my head onto paper, and it really just calmed me down. I would just reflect on how the studying went, how it's going, my plans for the next few days, and just how I'm feeling overall. And just this small practice took 2 to 3 minutes, was so helpful for me. And I think if you're able to implement it, it'll make things so much smoother for you, and you'll be so much more likely to actually execute on that study plan that we laid out. So elaboration and reflection are going to be keys in making sure you actually understand the material and making sure that you stay organized and, calm and collected. And remember, rely on discipline, not motivation. Okay, so to summarize what you need to do in the next 60 days to pass your first CPA exam: first, get your NTS and your review course. Second, make a study plan, figure out exactly what you need to do each day for the next 60 days to pass this exam. And then finally, execute. Rely on discipline, not motivation, and use elaboration and reflection to help you stay organized and sharp. It's a simple framework, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. You still have to put in all the hard work that comes with preparing for the CPA exams. And if you want some extra help getting through these steps, check the link down below, because like I said, I've started mentoring and coaching CPA students to help them get through these exams. So if that's something you're interested in, check the link down below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.